Elon isn't the type to hold back when Hollywood starts spouting nonsense. This time, Mark Ruffalo walked right into it. Ruffalo, famous for his role as the Hulk, thought he could school Elon on politics and free speech. When Ruffalo made another overblown statement about democracy and Trump, Elon didn't waste time. He didn't write a long response or get into a debate. Instead, Elon dropped the perfect response. It was clear Elon wasn't taking Ruffalo's Hollywood-style panic seriously, and neither should we. But what does Elon know that Hollywood doesn't, and why does it feel like this battle is just heating up? Part 1. The beginning of the feud. Ruffalo's Hollywood bubble versus Musk's grounded vision. It's no secret that Elon Musk and Hollywood don't exactly see eye to eye. The man behind Tesla and SpaceX has a habit of calling out celebrities for their often out-of-touch opinions, especially when it comes to politics and social issues. And when it comes to Mark Ruffalo, the clash has been nothing short of public drama, played out on Twitter, or should I say X now, thanks to Musk's rebranding of the platform. Let's rewind a bit to where this all started. Elon Musk isn't shy about his opinions, and he's certainly not afraid to take on big names in the entertainment world. For him, Hollywood is stuck in its own bubble, a place where celebrities make grand political statements without truly understanding the complexities of the real world. Mark Ruffalo, on the other hand, has become one of those celebrities Musk seems to have no patience for. Ruffalo, famously known for his role as the Hulk, has positioned himself as a strong voice for progressive politics, often speaking out on issues like climate change, income inequality, and lately, Donald Trump. A few days ago, Musk shared his thoughts on Twitter, expressing confusion about what he saw as Hollywood celebrities distorting facts about former President Trump. Specifically, Musk seemed baffled by how people like Ruffalo could compare Trump's 4 years in office to dictatorships like China and Russia. Let's be honest here, comparing Trump to dictators who rule with iron fists doesn't quite hold up. Sure, Trump is a divisive figure, but Musk wasn't having any of this extreme rhetoric, and he made his stance clear. Mark Ruffalo, who's never been shy to share his political thoughts, jumped in with his own criticism, basically saying that if Trump got re-elected, it would mean the end of democracy as we know it. For Ruffalo, the dangers were real, pointing to Trump's past term and warning people about the potential damage another 4 years could do. The message was clear: he wasn't taking Ruffalo's argument seriously, and honestly, neither should we. And Musk didn't stop there. He followed up by explaining how his platform, X, works differently from other social media giants. According to Musk, their algorithm is open source, meaning anyone can see how it works. Musk's response was clever, and it cut right through the noise. He wasn't about to let Ruffalo or anyone else tell him how to run his platform, especially when, in Musk's view, they didn't understand how it worked in the first place. But this feud between Musk and Ruffalo didn't just pop out of nowhere. It's been brewing for a while. Back in 2022, when Musk first announced he was buying Twitter, Hollywood had a collective meltdown. Celebrities from all over the entertainment world, including Ruffalo, were outraged by Musk's vision of free speech. Many of them threatened to leave the platform, fearing that Musk's changes would lead to an increase in hate speech and misinformation. But, let's be real, most of those celebrities are still very much active on Twitter, or X, continuing to voice their opinions despite their initial outcry. For Musk, the free speech debate is simple: people should be able to speak their minds, even if their opinions are controversial. He said multiple times that he hopes even his harshest critics stay on the platform because that's what free speech is all about. Ruffalo, on the other hand, has taken a more cautious approach, arguing that without strong safeguards against misinformation, platforms like Twitter can become dangerous. In one exchange, Ruffalo told Musk that the platform was losing credibility and called for more robust filters to prevent the spread of false information. Musk's response? A classic Elon Musk retort. He told Ruffalo, essentially, to calm down. Musk wasn't interested in catering to Hollywood's demands for tighter controls on speech. In his mind, the solution wasn't to censor people or overregulate conversations. He believed in letting the platform function as a space for debate and discussion. Ruffalo jumped at the chance to criticize Musk for his involvement in a growing conflict with Brazil's government. The Brazilian Supreme Court ordered the shutdown of X after Musk refused to moderate content that the government deemed unacceptable. Brazil even fined the platform for not complying, leading to a nationwide ban. Ruffalo, ever the vocal critic, didn't hold back. He accused Musk of disrespecting Brazilian sovereignty and acting like he was above the law. He went as far as to call Musk a weird and entitled tech billionaire, which, let's face it, sounds more like something you'd hear from a celebrity on a late-night talk show than an informed political analysis. And of course, Musk had the perfect response. Rather than backing down or issuing some overly formal statement, Musk played it cool. He pointed out that X's algorithm is open and transparent, unlike other platforms, and reminded Ruffalo that as long as people engage with certain content, they'll keep seeing more of it. The message was clear: if Ruffalo and others want to change what they're seeing online, maybe they should change how they're interacting with it. This exchange is just one example of how Musk has consistently outmaneuvered Ruffalo in their ongoing public feud. Ruffalo, with all his Hollywood flair, seems to be stuck in a loop of emotional outbursts, while Musk remains calm, collected, and most importantly, hilariously dismissive. Musk doesn't take Ruffalo's criticisms seriously because, frankly, he doesn't see Ruffalo as a credible voice when it comes to politics or technology. To Musk, Ruffalo and his celebrity peers are simply out of touch with the real world. This entire saga paints a clear picture of the dynamic between Musk and Hollywood, and it's not one where celebrities come out looking particularly strong. Elon Musk, with his sharp wit and unwavering confidence, has turned the tables on Ruffalo, making him appear more like a Hollywood figurehead preaching from a pedestal than someone with meaningful insight into the issues at hand. Part 2. Musk's free speech revolution. The Twitter war escalates. As the feud between Elon Musk and Mark Ruffalo continued to unfold, it became clear that the battle was more than just about tweets or celebrity politics. This was a clash of two very different worldviews. On one hand, you had Ruffalo, a Hollywood actor who, while passionate, was wrapped up in the typical celebrity activism. On the other hand, you had Musk, the billionaire visionary who has always positioned himself as a champion of innovation and free speech. It's not hard to see why Musk took issue with Ruffalo's comments and why his responses always hit so perfectly. The difference in how they see the world is like night and day. When Musk bought Twitter, it was a game changer. Celebrities, including Ruffalo, had been using the platform as a megaphone for years. They loved the blue check marks, the validation, and the idea that they were at the center of important conversations. But then Musk came along and flipped the script. He didn't see Twitter as a place for elites to control the conversation. He saw it as a platform for everyone. The moment Musk introduced changes, like making the blue checkmark something that anyone could get for $7.99 a month, Ruffalo and his fellow celebrities went into a frenzy. To them, this was sacrilege. To Musk, it was about democratizing the platform. You could tell this change really rattled Ruffalo. After all, being a verified celebrity on Twitter was part of the Hollywood image. Losing that exclusivity? It was like pulling the rug out from under them. Ruffalo wasn't quiet about his disdain for the new system, and he went on to criticize Musk publicly, arguing that this would destroy Twitter's credibility. And what did Musk do? He shrugged it off like it was no big deal. To him, Ruffalo's complaints were just more noise from a celebrity who couldn't handle change. Musk didn't just survive the backlash, he thrived in it. Every time Ruffalo or another celebrity spoke out against him, Musk used it as an opportunity to push his message of free speech and open dialogue. What's fascinating about Musk's response to all this is how well it plays to his strengths. He's not someone who gets bogged down by drama. Instead, he turns it into fuel for his larger mission. When Ruffalo and others accused him of letting misinformation run rampant on Twitter, Musk calmly pointed out that their algorithms were open source, meaning anyone could see how they worked. Unlike other social media platforms that keep their algorithms hidden, Musk's approach was all about transparency. If people were seeing content they didn't like, it was because they were engaging with it. It was a brilliant move, and one that left Ruffalo's complaints feeling hollow. The real turning point, though, came when Ruffalo tried to drag Musk into international politics. The situation in Brazil was heating up, with the Brazilian Supreme Court shutting down Twitter, or X, because of Musk's refusal to moderate content the government deemed inappropriate. Ruffalo seized the moment, going on a Twitter rant about how Musk was disrespecting Brazil's sovereignty and positioning himself as some sort of tech overlord who was above the law. For Ruffalo, this was another chance to paint Musk as a villain, a billionaire who cared more about his platform than about real-world consequences. But Musk wasn't about to let that narrative stick. His response to Ruffalo's accusations was nothing short of masterful. Rather than getting defensive, Musk leaned into the situation. He explained that the whole reason X was under fire in Brazil was because it refused to bow to censorship. For Musk, this wasn't about ignoring the laws of a country. It was about standing up for free speech, even when it was inconvenient. Musk framed the conflict as a matter of principle, and by doing so, he once again outmaneuvered Ruffalo. Musk's argument was simple but powerful. If we allow governments to dictate what content is allowed on platforms like X, then we're giving them the power to control the narrative. Musk wasn't going to let that happen, no matter how many governments or celebrities came after him. In the eyes of many, this was the moment Musk solidified his role as a defender of free speech. And Ruffalo, he was left looking like just another celebrity who didn't understand the stakes. What's interesting here is how different Musk's approach to controversy is compared to most people in his position. A lot of CEOs would have backed down or issued carefully worded statements trying to appease both sides. But that's not Musk's style. Instead of backing off, he doubled down. He made it clear that he wasn't going to change how he ran his platform just because a few celebrities or governments didn't like it. It was a pretty bold move, especially considering Musk's role in revolutionizing the electric car industry with Tesla. Ruffalo claimed that Musk was no longer the champion of environmentalism that people once thought he was, but Musk's actions spoke louder than Ruffalo's words. Sure, Musk has diversified his interests and has taken on more controversial positions since his early days with Tesla, but to say he's abandoned his principles, that just didn't hold water. Musk's entire career has been about pushing boundaries and challenging the status quo, whether that's in renewable energy, space exploration, or now, free speech on social media. Ruffalo's attempt to discredit Musk as a climate hypocrite fell flat because at the end of the day, Musk's track record speaks for itself. He's still leading the charge in electric vehicles, solar energy, and space innovation, all industries that are crucial for the future of the planet. So, where does that leave Ruffalo? Despite his best efforts to rally people against Musk, he hasn't managed to land a meaningful blow. Musk, with his quick wit and unflappable demeanor, has consistently come out on top. It's not that Ruffalo doesn't care about the issues, he clearly does, but his approach just doesn't have the same impact. While Ruffalo rants about the dangers of free speech and the need for stricter controls, Musk continues to push for a more open, transparent dialogue, and it's hard not to side with the guy who's actually offering solutions rather than just complaints. Musk's ability to handle criticism, whether it's coming from Hollywood celebrities or international governments, is what sets him apart. He doesn't shy away from the tough conversations, and he doesn't back down when the pressure mounts. Ruffalo, for all his passion, hasn't been able to keep up. Every time he tries to challenge Musk, Musk responds with a calm, calculated reply that leaves Ruffalo scrambling to recover. Part 3. The Brazilian government shutdown. Musk's ultimate response. As the back and forth between Elon Musk and Mark Ruffalo continued to unfold, the lines between celebrity activism and genuine debate became even clearer. It was becoming more obvious with each exchange that this wasn't just a squabble between two famous people. What we were witnessing was a clash between two very different approaches to the world's most pressing issues. Ruffalo, with his Hollywood megaphone, was playing the role of the concerned citizen, while Musk was challenging the very foundations of how we handle technology, free speech, and influence in the modern world. By the time Ruffalo had brought up Musk's involvement with Brazil, the conversation had shifted from free speech on social media to the much larger and more complex issue of global politics. Ruffalo, in his attempt to take a moral high ground, accused Musk of disrespecting Brazilian sovereignty, essentially calling him out for not complying with the country's censorship demands. To Ruffalo, this was another example of how Musk's disregard for responsibility was a danger to democracy. Now, if we've learned anything from this feud, it's that Musk doesn't just sit back when he's criticized. He responds often with a mix of sarcasm, wit, and cold, hard logic. And in this case, his response to Ruffalo's accusations about Brazil was no different. Musk framed the situation in a way that made it clear he wasn't just ignoring Brazil's laws for the sake of being rebellious. Instead, he positioned his actions as a stand for free speech, a core principle that he's repeatedly defended since taking over Twitter. Musk was making a point. If he gave in to Brazil's demands to moderate content on X, it would set a dangerous precedent for censorship across the globe. Ruffalo, for all his celebrity influence, didn't seem to grasp the bigger picture. Musk's argument was simple and, honestly, hard to refute. If governments start dictating what can and cannot be said on platforms like X, then those platforms are no longer places for open debate. They become tools for controlling the narrative. And Musk, he wasn't about to let that happen, no matter what country or celebrity tried to pressure him. He saw his role as a protector of free speech, someone who was willing to take on the world's most powerful institutions to ensure that people had the right to speak their minds.